Ryuto Kageyama stood in the middle of the crumbling street, his heart racing, his body trembling with the raw power surging through him. His once calm, focused demeanor had shattered, replaced by an uncontrollable storm inside. His hands crackled with energy, and the ground beneath him seemed to shake in response. The weight of everything he had lost, the pain, the anger, the fear, all of it was crashing down at once, and he couldn't hold it back any longer. What happens when a man loses control of the very thing that defines him? As Ryuto's mind raced, the memories of his past flashed before him like a broken film reel. The death of his family, the day everything changed. His powers, his strength, had they ever been his, or were they simply a response to the grief and rage that had consumed him? The once dormant abilities within him had awoken that day, and for years, he had honed them, trying to maintain control. But now, it felt like the control was slipping away, like the very power that had given him strength was about to destroy everything. Ryuto, a voice broke through the chaos, sharp and urgent. Ryuto turned to see Kato, his old friend, his ally. But there was something different in Kato's eyes, something cold, something distant. "Stop this, Ryuto. You're losing yourself." Ryuto's fist clenched, and he took a step back. His power surged again, this time more violently, shattering the ground beneath him. He could feel it, the anger, the rage, the fear. He had always been able to control them, to push them aside. But now it felt like everything was on the verge of exploding. "I can't stop now, Kato." Ryuto's voice was low, filled with a mix of desperation and fury. "Not when I've come this far. Not when everything I've done, every fight, every battle, has led me to this point." Kato's expression softened for a brief moment, but then he stepped forward, his hand outstretched. "Ryuto, please, this isn't the way. You're not the monster you think you are. You're better than this." But Ryuto couldn't hear him anymore. The power inside him was like a wild animal, clawing its way out of its cage. His mind was a blur of rage and confusion. He was so close to losing everything: his control, his humanity, and the one thing he feared most, himself. Suddenly, everything stopped. The world around him seemed to freeze in time. Kato's voice faded into the background as a new presence emerged from the shadows, something darker, something unfamiliar. Ryuto's heart skipped a beat. Who was this? The figure stepped forward, and Ryuto's breath caught in his throat. It was a man, tall, imposing, with a face that seemed to carry the weight of 1,000 secrets. The man's eyes locked with Ryuto's, and in that moment, Ryuto felt as if everything he knew was being ripped away. "You really think you're in control, don't you?" The man's voice was like a whisper in the dark, chilling and calm. "You're nothing more than a puppet, Ryuto. A pawn in a game you don't understand." Ryuto's mind reeled. What do you mean? Who are you?" The man smiled, but it was a smile devoid of warmth, full of something far more sinister. "I've been watching you for a long time, Ryuto. Every battle, every step you've taken, it was all part of my plan." Ryuto staggered back, his mind struggling to process the words. A plan? Everything he had done, every step he had taken toward vengeance, every fight he had endured, it had all been for nothing. "You've been my tool from the very beginning," the man continued, his voice dark and smooth. "Your power, your anger, it was all necessary for what comes next. I needed you to break, Ryuto. And now, look at you on the edge of destroying everything you've worked for." Ryuto's heart pounded in his chest. The betrayal, the truth, it was too much to bear. His hands began to shake, his powers flaring uncontrollably once again. How had he not seen it? Kato, his closest ally, had been playing him all along, and now this stranger, this shadow, was revealing the truth. Ryuto had been a puppet, pulled along by the strings of others, never truly in control of his own fate. "You've been using me," Ryuto whispered, the words tasting like ash in his mouth. "Everything I've done, it was never my choice." The man nodded slowly. "Exactly. You were never meant to control your powers, Ryuto. You were meant to be the catalyst for something far greater. You are a weapon, nothing more." Ryuto's fist clenched, his teeth grinding together. The anger that had fueled him for so long now felt like it was suffocating him. How could he have been so blind? His heart ached with the weight of the realization. He had trusted Kato. He had trusted everyone around him. But in the end, it had all been a lie. Kato's voice cut through the tension, shaky and filled with regret. "Ryuto, I never meant for it to go this far. I was trying to help you, but I couldn't stop it. He's been controlling everything." Ryuto turned toward Kato, his eyes filled with disbelief and betrayal. "You too, Kato?" His voice was filled with pain. "How could you betray me like this? Kato lowered his gaze, unable to meet Ryuto's eyes. I'm sorry, Ryuto. I never wanted this. But it was never in my hands. Not really. The man's voice interrupted, cold and final. Enough of this. It's time to embrace the truth, Ryuto. You can't run from it anymore. Your power is mine to control. Ryuto's blood ran cold as the weight of his situation settled in. The power that had once been his greatest strength was now his greatest threat. The fight for control, for redemption, it had never been about battling his enemies. It had always been about battling himself. The stranger's voice echoed through Ryuto's mind. You have a choice, Ryuto. You can continue to struggle, to fight against what you are, or you could accept your fate and unleash the true extent of your power. The choice is yours. Ryuto's vision blurred, his heart pounding in his chest. His thoughts were a whirlwind of fear, anger, and regret. If I let go, if I give in, what happens to me? The power inside him threatened to break free once again, but this time, Ryuto knew he couldn't let it take over. He had already lost too much. But then, a part of him whispered, what if I just let go? What if I embrace the darkness? The figure stepped closer, its presence almost suffocating. You were always meant to be more than this, Ryuto. You can be the weapon you were born to be. You can have everything. For a moment, Ryuto hesitated, his hands shaking. The weight of his decision hung in the balance. Could he truly embrace the darkness? Could he let the power consume him and destroy everything he had left? The man's voice was low, coaxing. It's not too late, Ryuto. All you need to do is accept it. And just as Ryuto's mind reached the breaking point, a new voice called out from the shadows. Don't listen to him, Ryuto. A familiar face appeared, someone he hadn't expected. You think you're alone in this? Think again. The figure stepped forward, revealing themselves to be someone from Ryuto's past, someone who had always been there, watching, waiting for the right moment. Ryuto's heart skipped a beat as the screen faded to black, leaving him and the audience clinging to the edge of the unknown. What will Ryuto do? Can he regain control? Or is it too late? What's the real truth behind his powers? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, share your theories, and subscribe to see what happens next. The story isn't over yet, and the real battle is only just beginning.